Our Zen lesson today is to avoid slideumments. Slideumments are horrible, and avoid you must. Here's a Star Wars example of Darth Vader's entire dialogue in one section of the film put into a PowerPoint slide that I bet would have a lightsaber noise as each bullet slid onto the screen and slowly filled the screen and bored the audience to death. Here's one of the reasons, I think, for the slideument. This is a screen from PowerPoint, and when you open up a new PowerPoint slide, it requires you to put a title at the top, and then there's a whole series of bullets that you need to pop in, and it just creates very unimaginative and boring slides that students and you use in your classroom. Here's back to Star Wars. Here's General Jan Dodonna in the original Star Wars teaching the X-Wing pilots how they could slip their small starfighter into the canyons of the Death Star and shoot a torpedo at a 2-meter wide exhaust port on the surface of the Death Star. And all the pilots are looking with rapt attention at this very zen, very simple wireframe animation of them being successful time and time and time again. If Jan Dodonna would have used this strategy, I think the Empire might have won. This is also referred to as PowerPoint karaoke, and I found that this is a very helpful way to describe this to your student, actually teach them what this looks like and have them call it out when they see it. And we see it a lot on student presentation days where the students kind of awkwardly go up to the front of the room and they face the screen and turn their back to the audience and then ignore the audience and then read the slide like it's in a book, and then they turn their head over their shoulder because they know there's eye contact on the rubric every once in a while. It's awkward and it's horrible, and let's tell kids that we see it and that they should stop doing it to make them better presenters. The best way I found to eliminate PowerPoint karaoke, or at least minimize PowerPoint karaoke, is to show my students this slide. And I asked them if they know what this is. And if you're unfamiliar with the image, it's a ration stamp from World War II. To be able to buy flour during World War II, you had to have more than the money. You also needed to have the stamp that said you were entitled to buy flour so that we could send as much flour over to the soldiers who were fighting the Nazis. I've had great experiences when I tell my kids, you only get X number of words in this presentation. There's no bullets. Any slide that is filled with bullets is automatically marked down. And you should use words very, very sparingly as if they were rationed. Give it a try in your class, and I think you're going to see really good things happen. Now, from the Presentation Zen book by Gar Reynolds, he gives this suggestion. If a bullet is important enough, it deserves its own slide. So I'm on a Star Wars vibe this session here, so let's play with it. Here's my 3 favorite Star Wars movies. First one, by far for me, is Empire Strikes Back, and then Star Wars, A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi. And then because I thought I needed to use every bit of the screen, I put a squashed image of Darth Vader. It looks like he was in the trash compactor from Star Wars, A New Hope. And then for good measure, I threw in a horrible clip art image of thumbs up with a big white box around it. This slide is ugly. Okay? What Gar Reynolds teaches us is let's have one main idea on each slide. So if I think Empire is number 1, let people see Empire. So I found this beautiful image that was used to advertise the film, and notice my word allotment, I'm just putting number 1 on the screen. That communicates everything that I need to say, and it lets people look at an amazing image. My second choice is the original Star Wars. Once again, original classic artwork. And my third, this is a much more Zen way of presenting. And what it gets me to do is look at my audience and maybe tell them some stories about when I saw Return of the Jedi, or what my take is on the Ewoks, like them, hate them. And I can tell those stories looking at my audience instead of just reading what's on the screen. So this is the Great Seal of the United States of America, and if you notice the Latin phrase in the ribbon that the eagle is holding in her beak, e pluribus unum. And what we know that means is from many come one. So it's like we all become melting pot Americans, I guess is the idea. But I want to twist that saying around, and I want to call it e unum pluribus. From one slide, make many slides. It's a very easy and accessible way that you will make more Zen presentation.